Hi, Alex here from Nintu, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create and manage your different types of buttons using both Tailwind CSS as well as the Nintu component kit on your WordPress website. Now, with the Nintu kit, it comes with 3 pre-configured buttons that each have 4 different sizes. So we're going to jump into the page builder and I'm going to walk you through how to both create them, but also style them and manage them from an individual button or globally for all of the buttons on your website. Now, jumping into the builder, I'm going to start off by walking you through the primary default button. This is the button that's pre-configured to match your brand colors and your brand style. So what we want to do is go into your different elements and find the button element and then simply add that to your page. You can see here it adds a button that's completely unstyled other than applying primary background. What we want to do now is add the class BTN, the button. And this then creates our primary base button. We now have 4 different sizes of the button. So if we wanted to create a button that was a little bit smaller, duplicate this one and remove the button class, BTN-SM for small, or BTN-LG for large, or even if I wanted it a little bit bigger, BTN-XL. That gives us an extra large button. That's our primary set of buttons. Now, the 2 other types of buttons that come pre-configured with Nintu are your secondary buttons and your tertiary buttons. And these are really buttons that you would have laid out around your page that you don't really want to be a primary call to action, not drawing too much attention, so the colors are a little bit more muted. So we're going to get rid of our buttons that we have here. Add a new button element, and this time I'm going to call it BTN-S secondary. And you can see it styles it in a more muted color, and this already comes pre-configured in light and dark mode. So if you were to view this page with dark mode turned on, that button would be much darker. If you were to view it in light, obviously lighter, and compared to your primary, the color is always more muted depending on the theme that the user is visiting with. Same thing for our secondary buttons. We have all the different sizing, so you could do, instead of just the standard BTN-secondary, this time we have to do -SM for small, or as another example, we wanted a really big one, we could do BTN-S-XL. That applies a large version of our primary button. Now, last but not least is our tertiary buttons, even more muted than the secondaries. Now, all we need to do to apply a tertiary button is add the class BTN-T, and you can see here it's applied sort of grayed out, muted button. And the same thing, all the sizing classes also apply to this button, so you could also do BTN-T-SM if you wanted a small one. If we were to create a larger one, you could go BTN-T-XL for a super big one. Now, that is the base of importing and creating our buttons that come pre-configured into. Now, what happens if you wanted to customize all of the buttons on your website, change, let's say, the border radius, or the amount or the color of the border or the drop shadow? We can do this by editing the component over in our Winden settings. So when you do that, jump over to your Winden config tab and you'll see a section here, buttons. And within this section, you'll have each of our different buttons and the different utility classes that are applied to each of the buttons. So if I just wanted to modify all of my base primary buttons and I wanted to change the color from, say, primary 500 to a green, I could do BG-green-500 If I was to then jump back to my page and create a new button, let's apply that here. You can see it's applied now the green background color. You can modify and edit all the rest of the buttons here. They all use utility, so everything stays consistent with what you've configured for your brand settings and brand colors. And that is pretty much it for editing, managing, styling, and creating buttons using both Tailwind and the Nintu component library. Let me know if you have any questions, either in the comments down below, over on our help desk, or you can ping me directly. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.